what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be a solo hammock overnighter at this beautiful mountain river location. It's more like a creek, but it is absolutely amazing out here right now. So I've got this long stretch of natural spring water running right just feet away from my hammock. So right now I do have the hammock pitched open as a day kind of configuration. I've got my hammock, my underquilt, everything set for the night. Now it is time to unload the rest of my gear, grab my saw, and go and collect some firewood, because I am going to be cooking over the fire this evening. And then I'm going to be treated with the sounds of the running water all night long when it's time to close this tarp up for the evening. So I want to get some of my gear unpacked, grab my saw, and go and collect some firewood. Alright guys, I cut down this very large softwood. It was dead, absolutely dead. That took a lot of effort, a lot of work. So this is my 21-inch saw. I do have a 24-inch saw, but I didn't intend on cutting anything this large on this trip. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use half of this for a sitting bench, and I'm actually going to leave it right where it's at. I'm going to build my fire pit in this area. And we're about 50 feet away from where the hammock is, but we're directly in front of the water, so I can gather water for cooking and have a bench and sitting area and have a nice fire pit area to relax in. So I do have to cut this one more time. I'm thinking about cutting it right about here and basically break it in half like I did to the other section, and then I'll burn this section, I'll burn the other section, and I'll keep the other section to sit on. And like I said, I kind of have a nice camp organized area over here with fire and then sleeping over there. But like I said, this is tremendous amount of work, and working up a sweat too, which is never good. So I'm going to have to dry out next to the fire for sure later on this evening. But for now, I'm going to continue hacking away at this, get my sitting area set up, and then I want to gather a load more of firewood, a whole bunch of little twigs. I can see hardwood trees up on this hill, so I'm going to gather some of those a little later on as well. And then I want to get some water and get cooking a coffee, because I definitely need something to drink. So back to work. All right, guys, I got most of my firewood collected already, and I've gone ahead and lit the fire, and I've even gone as far as to pour myself a cup of coffee. So right now I'm just kind of relaxing before I start cooking supper. And I should mention it's actually rather warm out today, so it's at 0 degrees right now, and I believe the forecast is only forecasting -5 degrees Celsius tonight. So that's a walk in the park. That is no problem at all. So I'll most likely just be in my sweater for the evening until it gets really cold, and I might throw my wool sweater back on until I head in towards the hammock. But like I said, I'm going to relax for a little bit, drink my coffee, kind of cool down a little bit, because I was getting a little sweaty gathering all this firewood, so I want to make sure I dry out. And then I'm soon going to start on supper right over the fire. I'm going to be doing hamburgers, so I'm really excited for that. But for now, like I said, coffee, relax for a few moments, and then get the food over the fire. All right, guys, supper is all done with, and I gotta say, those 2 hamburgers were awesome. I'm very, very stuffed right now. I don't think I'm gonna be eating anything for the rest of the evening. I do have a little bit more firewood though, so I put on a pretty snow-covered piece of softwood in the back just to melt all the snow off and hopefully dry out. A couple more pieces off that tree are set over here. Plus I've got a hardwood section about 8 feet long directly in front of the camera, so I think I'm going to be good for the rest of the evening. I'm not going to be sitting in front of the fire too late where it is nice and warm out today. It's not going to get very cold, at least I don't think it's going to get too cold. And I have my down top quilt and underquilt, so I'm going to be plenty warm inside of my hammock system. And I just want to go to bed early tonight, so I'm actually going to be lounging in the hammock quite early. I'm going to kick back, and I'm probably going to watch 2 or 3 movies and listen to the sound of the water trickling, and then I'm just going to turn in for the night. So I'm not too focused on firewood, and then in the morning I can relight the fire just small enough to make breakfast and basically cook up my food, and then that's it for fire. So what I've got right now, I'm pretty confident should be enough. Hopefully, fingers crossed. But I think right now the sun has already set, so it is getting quite dark down in this mountain ravine area. And I'm just kind of looking around. It looks like the sky, it is getting a little windy, but the sky looks like it's going to be mainly cloudy, I think. It's pretty cloudy, but there's a few spots of blue sky, so who knows what'll happen overnight. But I'm just going to relax for a few minutes, and then I'm going to basically head on over to the hammock, get the doors closed and ready for this evening. Good morning, everybody. It is another beautiful morning out here in the forest. And I gotta say, that fire right now feels mighty fine. So, bring you guys up to speed with my morning. So far, I've had coffee, I've had breakfast, and I did get the fire going with the leftover pieces that I had late last night. I ended up batoning them here this morning. Got them on the fire. The fire was a little tricky though, because all the birch bark in the area is completely soaked, because it poured with rain late last night right into the morning, and I mean poured with rain. So my entire tarp is completely soaked. I got to fall asleep to the tapping rain on the tarp plus the running creek, which was pretty awesome. So I'm going to continue on with my coffee and let this fire burn out slowly, and then I'm going to make my way over to the hammock and start packing my gear up. Alright guys, I'm back over at the hammock now, and I'm just getting squared away with what I've got to get put back inside my backpack. So I did dig up a few of the guide lines from the tarp, and how I guide that out was I used dead man anchors, just sticks placed in the ground, wrapped the cord around, buried it, worked perfectly fine. So I have to get out some of the guide lines. There's 4 of them that are stuck in there pretty good. I'm going to pull those, get the tarp down, get all my insulation, and my hammock is going to go in the backpack in one go. Just going to ball it all up, jam it in there as I usually do. And then I'm going to head back over to the fire area once all this is squared away, warm up a little bit, put the fire out of course, and then I'm going to square up all my other little bits and pieces over there inside of the backpack. And then I'm going to give you guys a rundown on how last night went and how I felt about the whole trip. So, talking about warm, last night in the hammock, I had my sleeping bag. It's a center zip bag. I had that unzipped all the way down to my knees, completely wide open. I was just in my black hoodie, and I used my wool hoodie as a pillow. And that's how I slept for the entire night. I did not zip up my sleeping bag at all. Super comfortable. The amount of freedom to be able to move around and not be constricted in the sleeping bag or constricted in a top quilt was really nice. So the temperature range allowed that, and I had an excellent sleep with the sound of the rain later on in the evening, and then the sound of the water was absolutely awesome. So like I said, I am going to finish up my coffee, and then I'm going to get my backpack on my back. And like I was explaining to you guys last night, I have a long hike to make, uphill, downhill, over all these peaks and valleys before I'm out of the forest. So that's kind of my reason for going to bed early last night and then getting up a little early this morning, and kind of keeping things simple with the yogurt and the coffee, small fire, and pack up the bag and then hit the trail, because it is more of a kind of a hike in and a hike out trip more than a camping trip. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I am going to leave it here because I am going to pack the camera away so I do not slip and fall and break it. And I had a really great time. So if you guys have any questions or comments, drop it down in the comment section. I'll be sure to get back to you. And peace out, guys. I'll see you guys in the next video.